G'day guys, welcome to Rumble's Fish Room. So just quickly before we start, don't forget, if you want to see what new fish I've got for the planted tank, check out Monday's Patreon video. The link to the Patreon is in the description. So that's this coming Monday. I'll be talking about the new fish in that tank. But for today, that's better, the lighting switched over. I'm going to show you what food I use. For those of you who, there's so many new people on the channel and it's been a long time since I've talked about what food I use. So there is some unlabeled food which I can't show you what it is, and also there's some discontinued food that I'm using that I can't buy any more of, that I'm actually open to suggestions on what I should be using. Alright guys, so I've pretty much stacked out everything I feed. The only food that's missing from here is this one here, which is what I feed the stingrays. So I'll show you that first if I can open it. So this is actually an 11mm pellet off eBay. It's like I can't remember if it was a cichlid feed or aquaponics feed, but my rays got real fat on this. I don't know what the dog's doing. If I could buy it again, I would 100% buy it again. I love it. I was buying it in 20 kilos at a time, and I'm about to run out. The reason it's in these bins is because the food tub that it actually came in is actually that filter there. If you guys don't remember that, scroll down my videos a little bit and there's a DIY bucket filter, and I explained how I built that filter. Alright, so yes, there is white crane on the table. We'll get to that later. But let's start with fry. Alright, so fry, I do have a powder. The powder is pretty much all of these foods in a NutriBullet and grind it up, and that's what, and I use that for fresh fry, and I also hatch fresh brine shrimp. But once they go off the powder, I go to Extreme Fish Food Nano slow sinking. It's half the size of NLS Grow. So then at about 3 weeks old, this is flower horns, everything. I feed NLS Grow at about 3 weeks old up until they can go on the 1mm, which is probably 12 weeks old. So then all of my Africans, they get a 50-50 mix of Extreme Fish Cichlid Peewee and New Life Spectrum Thera A plus A. I usually use like a 1mm aquaponics pellet, and I do 1/3 of each, but I don't have any at the moment, so I've just been doing 50-50. Vitalis soft pellets, these are actually for my Nibochromis linni. If I feed them that, they get bloat. And then we've got Hikari Cichlid Gold. Now, I get this in medium and mini. I've got some mini over there. So it's 3mm and 5mm. That's basically all the flower horns, juvenile flower horns, a few other fish like the Buccochromis, Nibochromis, Polystigma, and like a few bigger fish, Dimicomps, Dimicromis compressiceps. And then I've got Blood Parrot Red, which is for the flower horns, but I always forget to feed it. Like, I've had that packet for like a year, and yeah, I don't know. I don't really like the idea of color enhancing my breeders, so I just don't really have a use for that. But I thought I'd throw it in this list because it's great for display flower horns. If I had a display male, I would use it more often. But yeah, I don't see the point in using it for a breeder male. We've got what do you call it, spirulina flake, which is for the few trophies that I do have, which I actually want to sell, but I haven't got around to it. Now, this Aqua One color enhancing food is really cheap, and I bought it to try it out because somebody told me that this Aqua One food is basically on the same level as white crane, and I personally didn't believe it, but I did feed it to females and they did colour up. So now maybe you're wondering why I have white crane and this Aqua One colour enhancer. I'm not perfect, guys. I have got fry mixed up in the past, and the reason I bought this is because I had a batch of like 50 fry and I couldn't remember not that I couldn't remember. They had got mixed up. One of my fry tanks was divided and the divider fell out. One side had a Lunacara Code Blue, the other side had a Lunacara Benga, and I fed them this only for like 3 or 4 days, and that was long enough for me to separate the two, and then you drop this food out of their diet and they go back to normal. Now, I don't want people to get this me confused and think that I'm feeding fish that I sell this, because I don't. And if I have considered having a white crane tank, like say this 4 foot outside the fish room, and doing a white crane fed tank and selling the fish out of it as white crane fed, telling the person that's buying it that they need this food to keep up the colour. But I just don't condone feeding this food for extended periods of time, so I just couldn't bring myself to sell fish that are fed this food. What else do we need to cover here? I occasionally get like, because I'm with Perth Cichlid Society, I get some free food every now and then, so I'm not afraid to use this flake. I've got a few tubs of this, and the flowerhorn fry have been eating this. Cichlid flakes. I think that about covers the food, guys. I've got this here. I haven't really used it. You can see it's still quite a lot in there. Frenzy fish feeds. I can't really comment on whether it's good food or not. Like I said, I haven't really used it. I've got these here, which Tanganyikan tropical chips. I actually mixed these into my daily feeds at one stage, and all my fish stopped breeding. So this is just food that sits here and doesn't get used. Someone actually gave it to me and I hated it. Yeah, so this is just going to be a quick vlog, guys. I thought you guys might be interested in what I'm feeding. So just quickly before we wrap it up, you'll notice that there isn't a huge variety of food that I'm using on a day-to-day basis. I'm only using like 4 different brands, and it's only because I've got that many different types of fish. I have to use different foods. I've thought about only using Extreme and NLS, and putting the flower horns onto like the Thera A plus 6 mil, but I don't know anybody that's done it in the flower horn world, and I am going to try it, but I don't really want to branch away from what people have told me to use, because obviously flower horns are still kind of new to me. I've never experimented in foods and stuff. I've only fed what people have told me to feed. Now I've shown you all of these foods. If there was one food that I was going to go for, if I wanted to stick to one brand out of them all, it would be Extreme Aquatic Fish Foods. Why do I mix NLS in? I'm not sure. It's because, I don't know. I've always mixed foods. I've never just stuck to one. NLS is definitely great, but I think, like, my personal opinion is Extreme is slightly better. I really want to go I really want to use the Extreme 6mm and stuff, but it's just availability at the moment. When you guys know, I've been trying to push Extreme Foods because the more people in Australia we get onto Extreme Foods, the more people that are asking the pet shops for Extreme Foods, the more chance of people, I think it's called like Aqua Blue is the company that's looking at importing it. And if people are buying it, like, means more imports, means the price comes down. And yeah, so it is quite expensive at the moment. I think, well actually, how much is this? 1200 grams, that's 2.4. I actually got the Extreme cheaper than the NLS, but that's keeping in mind I paid wholesale for the Extreme. I paid just under shop price. Shout outs to Material Aquatics. He gave me the New Life Spectrum a lot cheaper than the shelf price, but Ryan at Kareen Pet Central gave me the Extreme fish food at cost price. I mention Ryan all the time and Kareen Pet Central just because he just reached out to me one day, and I don't know if you guys know, but Extreme Fish Food, I was ordering it from East, paying heavy shipping. I didn't actually know anybody in WA was stocking it, and Ryan at Kareen Pet Central, he has shelves of this fish food. So if you do want Extreme and you don't want to pay shipping, go see him, because yeah, that's just awesome. Anyway, this video has turned into like a brag about Extreme Fish Foods. Yeah, sorry guys, I love the food. Anyway, oh, and I feed bloodworms, but you guys don't need to see them. I've been using the Aqua One bloodworms, but I want to try find the big sheets of the Hikari frozen bloodworms. And I do want to get, what are they called? Air dried black worms? Is it air dried? I want to get them, and that will give you a hint on the new fish. If you've got me on Facebook, you already probably know what the new fish are. But anyway, that will be on the Patreon, so click on that link. If you don't click on the link, you're sleeping. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.